What's going on, guys? Got another comic book haul video for you. Got a little hodgepodge of pickups here. Got some Mercari buys, some eBay buys, some local comic shop buys, and a box from Unknown Comics. They had a big sale at the end of the year, and I made my first purchase from there. Got a few cool variants, so I'll do a little unboxing there at the end, and we'll go ahead and get started here. This one is Captain America Annual number 8, obviously. I got this from Mercari with some of my profits that I've been selling on there. So it was about 20 bucks, I think. This is a very nostalgic comic book for me. I remember seeing this on posters in my local comic shop when I was a kid, and you could actually get a poster of it. I had it in the poster section at Kmart, I remember. So that was really cool, because that was back, early 90s. The comic books were not as mainstream as they are now, so it was really cool seeing something like that in Kmart. I don't think Kmart's exist anymore, probably, but yeah. Anyway, just beautiful Mike Zeck cover, Captain America and Wolverine there going at it. So I think I had the poster of this when I was a kid, but I never actually had the comic, so just very happy to add this to my collection. And the next 3 books I got from eBay from one seller. The first one here is Moon Knight 57, another iconic cover here. Mr. Stephen Platt homaging Mr. Todd McFarlane, which is, can't go wrong with either of those guys. This was another one I really wanted when I was a kid. I never had it. I think Platt basically burst onto the scene with Moon Knight, and he was dominating the Wizard Top 10 list for many months after that and many years in the early to mid 90s. So I'm a big fan of his stuff, just very nostalgic. And this is the last of the Moon Knight books of his that I did not have, so I was really happy to finally add this one. This one ended up being like $35, I think, at auction, which was a really good price, because I remember even almost immediately when this came out, it was 15, 20 bucks. And then I never had it when I was a kid, like I said. And then when I got back into collecting a couple years ago, these were some of the first books I looked at, were the Stephen Platt Moon Knight stuff. And this one specifically goes for the most, I think. It was going for 70, 80 bucks at the time. So it's gone down a lot. The market's kind of cooled off a lot in the last year or so. So it's definitely a buyer's market if you're looking to get some good deals on stuff online. I don't really like buying a lot online, even though most of this video is going to be stuff I got online. But like I said, I've never seen this around any of the shops that I go to for less than 50 bucks, so I didn't want to pay that. So I find a cheaper price on eBay. After a while, I just kind of bite the bullet and pay for the online book. But this was the last Stephen Platt Moon Knight book that I needed, so I'm really happy to find it. And speaking of Todd McFarlane, we've got Amazing Spider-Man 328. Mr. McFarlane doing the cover and the interiors as well. Just a really cool cover. Excuse me. Spidey there punching Mr. Bruce Banner in the gut there. It's really cool. This is another one I never had as a kid, so just slowly trying to put the McFarlane Spider-Man run together as much as I can, for as cheap as I can. This one was 10 bucks. Again, that's a little bit cheaper than what market prices are now. And again, I never see this at any of the shops around me, so I was happy to find it. And then the last one I got from that same seller on eBay was Beavis and Butthead number 1. This was $5 or $6. I can't remember exactly how much. It might be a little more than market price, but again, this is not something I see around me in the cheap bins, or even in just the regular back issue bins. So lots of people are nostalgic about Beavis and Butthead, I guess, so can't go wrong. And this is the pink glove version. I know there's the red glove version with the dentist there is the more expensive or more rare one, I guess, but I do not have that one yet, but I will keep my eyes peeled for it and hopefully get that one day. So those were my eBay purchases. And then let's see, these next 2 are from Destination Comics. It's a local shop here in Louisville, Kentucky. They've got pretty good selection of back issues, a bunch of new books, and lots of pops and graphic novels and everything too. So they're on my steady rotation to check out. So I went there a couple weeks ago and only grabbed 2 books. This first one is an X-Men 92. This was the Secret Wars X-Men 92 run. This is the Sana Takada variant. I don't think this is any kind of ratio or anything. I think it's just a B cover. But it's just a beautiful cover with Gambit and Jubilee on there. I really like Sana Takada's art, and just like finding stuff that she does. Unfortunately, she does not do the interiors, but can't have everything. So and this was cover price, like $4 or $5. Cover price is $5. So yeah, that's what that was. And then this was probably my favorite cover of the whole bunch. A little George Carlin action on Bill and Ted's Day of the Dead. This is the cover B, George Carlin. This one was cover price as well, which was what's it say? I don't even see the price on it. It was like $4 or $5 though. But I love George Carlin. He's definitely my favorite stand-up comedian. I remember I taped like 6 or 7 of his HBO specials, and I just watched them on repeat on my old TV with my VCR built in when I was a teenager. I've got most of those memorized still, so I can rattle off a number of George Carlin routines from memory. So just a cool photo cover of Rufus here. Unfortunately, he's not in the interior of this, but you know, this is my first George Carlin comic, and we will see how many more I can find. If I ever see any more, he's definitely gonna pick them up. So those 2 were from Destination. I'll leave the Cap Annual up there. And this next, the biggest batch, I guess, these are all from Half Price Books here in Louisville. Got another Stephen Platt cover. This is a 1 in 50, actually. This is Avengers X Sanction number 2. I think it's a 1. I thought it was 1 in 25. The sticker says 1 in 50, but I don't know how accurate Half Price Books is, and I didn't look it up on my comic shop beforehand. So I know it's a ratio. I'm just not sure how high a ratio it is. This one was $20. Just a really cool Stephen Platt cover. Cable choke slamming Iron Man there, about to beat him over the head with. Looks like he's got Cloud's sword there from Final Fantasy VII. Let me pull the sticker off so you can get a better look at it. So the funny thing about this book is there's a copy on eBay that I was on my watch list for, I don't know, 6 or 7 months, about a year and a half ago. There's looks like a vibro sword, Cloud sword from Final Fantasy. So this was on my watch list on eBay. There was a copy for like $7 or something, and I just never pulled the trigger on it. It ended up selling, so with shipping it ended up being like $15. I didn't get it because I'm cheap, and I just sat there and stared at it. I was like, oh, it's $7, I'll get it eventually, and of course I never did. And now I think there's 1 copy on eBay, and they want, I think, $50 or $60 for it. So I wasn't going to pay that, but when I found this in Half Price for $20, I was happy to find it. I would have much rather got that cheaper copy on eBay, but, you know, yeah, happy to get this one. So that was the expensive book from Half Price. I think that's the first time I'd actually bought anything. They have their expensive section locked up, so felt all special. I was like, excuse me, I would like one of those comic books in the locked up section. So had to grab that. The rest of these are dollar books or 50-cent books. This one is Miss Marvel 49, the penultimate issue of this volume 2 of Miss Marvel. Just another beautiful Sana Takeda cover. I think she does the interiors on this as well. So I'm going to try to put this whole volume of Miss Marvel together, because Sana Takeda did the covers and the interiors. Yeah, she did the interiors as well. For a number of the issues. And then I know Frank Cho. God, look at that. That's sweet. Love her art. It's so cool. Spider-Man. That is not her art, but that's cool too. Yeah. Frank Cho and Greg Horn did some of the covers on this run. I don't know if either of them did any of the interiors like Takeda does here, but hopeful. But you know, ready to be disappointed if they don't. But their covers are always really good. I know Mike Deodato, he did a lot of the covers too. So a lot of really good artists worked on this run. So I'm just gonna, it went 50 issues, so I'm just gonna try to put it all together. Next, I got a couple books. This is Intrigue #1, and then I got #3 here. This is a little, I think it's a 4-issue miniseries. And the reason I got this, it's the first work by this artist Carrie Andrews, who I became aware of looking on Unknown Comics. Their end of the year sale, they had he did a cover on X-Men Legends, I think, that he drew it in like the 90s style, the X-Men animated TV show. That's really cool. So I don't know if that's in the box or if that's in my cart on their website still, but I'm gonna get that one eventually. And then he did another cover for Sins of Sinister, I think, that's really cool in that 90s X-Men style. So when I was researching his early work, I found out that I think this miniseries was his first work in comics. So found both of these books for $1 each at half price. So I was really happy to find those. His early stuff is kind of more of like an anime manga style. So that's pretty cool. I'm not sure if I guess he's probably just mostly a cover artist now, like most of the popular ones. But I do like collecting the early stuff because they tend to work on the interiors more. Got a Dominion Conflict #1. Was it Dominion Conflict 1, No More Noise? Issue 4 of 6. Yeesh, that's a mouthful. Just Masamune Shiro joint. This is, I don't know which volume of Dominion this is. I know I've got #1 of I think the first, was it Eclipse? Was that the imprint that published the original ones, maybe? Over here. I think I've got one of those, and then Dark Horse picked it up. So just love his artwork, obviously. Ghost in the Shells, claim to fame. And Appleseed as well. I think I showed one of those in the last video. I think, oh yeah, I got another one in this one. We got Appleseed Book 2, Volume 4. And actually, one of you guys, viewers, commented on the last video that they watched the Appleseed anime, and I forgot that they did an anime of that back in the early 90s, so I watched that as well. It's on Amazon Prime, so it was a nice little blast from the past, so check that out if you're interested. I got a cool Deadpool and Cable miniseries. I think this is a 3-issue series. It's Deadpool and Cable split second. Just the Back to the Future homage there. It's a really fun cover, so I was happy to find that. And speaking of blast from the past, got Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future. I have #1 of this already in a direct, but this is a newsstand, as you can see. So the cover's a little different, so that was fun. I'm not sure how many issues this ran. I think they might have a number 0 too, but I'm not sure. But I was just happy to find that. Just another cool nostalgic buy. Found a couple of Game of Thrones books for $1 each. Got #1. I found this for $1 a little over a year ago down at one of the shops in Lexington, and sold it I think right around the time the House of the Dragons was coming out. So I think I got like 20 or 30 bucks for it, so I had to replenish the stock. So I got #1 and #2. So I'll hold on to these for a little while until the new season of House of the Dragon comes out and try to flip those. Got a Rob Liefeld book here. This is Rejects. I think this is the preview. I've got a couple versions of this, but every one seems to have a different cover. I think these are all flip books too, or the previews are all flip books. So this is Coven #5, which that might say Coven in some language, I'm not sure. Or it might be a made-up language. But if you open it up, hey, Coven, issue 5. And then the Rejects, it's Rejects. Oh yeah, if you look at the special preview, March 98. So I've got like 3 or 4 versions of this, all with different covers, so just cool, lesser known Rob Liefeld stuff, and he did the interior art on that as well, so I was happy to find that. And we got a couple Ren and Stimpy books. Got number 25, 26, and 27. These are all a buck each. Nice little Raiders of the Lost Yak cover there, so that's good. I think I'm going to try to complete this run. It's going to be hard to find number 1 in the cheap bins like that Beavis and Butthead one. I remember having that as a kid. They had the scratch and sniff cover on that. So I'll keep my eyes open for that, but I have a feeling I might have to pay an actual like $5 or $6 for that one, unfortunately. But I'm still holding out hope. And then last few books here from Half Price. These were all 50-cent pickups. I got these Where Monsters Dwell. Got a few issues of this. I think this was a 5-issue miniseries. It's got cool Frank Cho covers, and then Garth Ennis does the writing on that. So one of my favorite artists and one of my favorite authors. Unfortunately, Cho does not do the interior art. He just does the covers, but it's still kind of fun. You don't see him drawing dinosaurs a lot. It's mostly the sexy women like Shanna the She-Devil and all that stuff. But that's a cool cover there. So I got 1, 2, 3. Those were all 50 cents. And then number 5 was 50 cents as well. And that's funny. That's got the little dinosaurs there. That reminded me of the dogs from Liberty Meadows, that other series, that comic strip that Frank Cho started on. And then the last one I got from Half Price was this Zen Legend of the Monkey King. I'll be honest, I thought this was some weird X-Men manga book because I saw the X and the N, and she kind of covers up the trade dress there, so I wasn't sure what it was, but the cover just caught my eye. And then when I looked to see who it was Joe Madureira, so that's really cool. This was I guess this is the B cover on this series. I have no idea what it's about or anything like that. Strictly a cover buy, but it was only $1, so you can't go wrong. Excuse me. Alright, so that's all the pickups I got in person and mail, and then I've got my, oh god, I'll show my address on there. It's box from Unknown Comics. Ooh, sorry. Shaking that up. I shipped it in a nice Gemini mailer. I'm not the only book that I remember buying is a Mystery in Madripoor, just because there's a cool Psylocke cover. Uh-oh, there's bubble wrap, guys. Brace yourself. I'll take it away from the microphone so I don't blast you guys out like I did with my CVCS unboxing. So, cut this. So the reason I got these books was I missed, there's a Stan Sakai variant on Moon Knight. I think it was Black, White, and Blood. I think it was the first issue that I really wanted. And again, I'm so cheap, I didn't get it when it was down to like $7 on Unknown. I waited until they were sold out, so I kind of like hate bought this stuff after I got mad at not being able to get the Moon Knight book. But they had a lot of good deals. So I think we got 10 books here, so they averaged about $5 a piece after shipping and everything. So let's see what we got here. Start off with some Guardians of the Galaxy. That is number 1. Let's see if actually here's the invoice. It's a Perel artist. It's a 1 in 25. So that one was, yeah, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so there's 9 books. I don't have the price that I paid on here, which is weird. But I think it ended up being about $5 a book, I think. So, so $5 for 1 in 25, pretty cool. Let's see, got this Wolverine. Oh man, look at that is warped. Look at that. Yikes. Good thing I'm not going to sell it, but it's a cool Tony Daniel cover. Let's see if the ratio on that is, if they have it. Let's see, 1 in 25 as well, so that's cool. And then let's see, got a, what is this, Hulk number 6. It's a cool cover with Hulk and Silver Surfer and Galactus in there, kind of an homage to the was it Silver Surfer 4 with Surfer and Thor on it. And this is also a 125. The artist is Mastrazo. These are almost all cover buys just because, like I said, I wanted it for that Stan Sakai Moon Knight book, but when they didn't have it, I was just throwing stuff into my cart. Mad at myself and cursing myself for not buying it. This is Extermination number 2. This is also a 1 in 25. Just a cool Frank Cho cover. Got Jean Grey on there. It looks like, I don't know who that is in the background. It looks like Dr. Manhattan, but it's probably not. Oh, that's Archangel. That's Iceman. Oh, that's Beast. Hey, look at that. I figured it out, guys. But that just looks like Dr. Manhattan for some reason. Let's see. Next. Oh, this is cool. This is Hellions number 6. This is not a ratio. It's just an unknown comics exclusive, I guess. So just David Nakayama cover doing like a Marvel vs. Capcom fighting game cover. So that's cool. That's why it's landscape here. Got who's on team? We got Psylocke, Rogue, and Gambit versus Mr. Sinister, the White Queen, and Cyclops. So that's cool. Yeah. That's a lot really fun. And then I got another one of those, yeah. This is Cable, what is this, number 6. Another cool Nakayama cover. Got Cable, Rogue, and Gambit, and Magic, White Queen, and Cyclops. So it's cool. Cable giving Magic the business there. 99 hits. That's just really cool. I'm a sucker for these video game covers. So got that. And then let's see. Oh my gosh, the tape here is killing me. Alright, got a cool Silver Surfer variant. That's a Perillo cover. Just Silver Surfer Black, number 1. That is not a ratio. It's just another Unknown Comics exclusive. And let's see, just 2 more. Got a Saya Mighty Thor. This is number 7. Thor number 705. Again, this is not a ratio, just a Unknown Comics exclusive. So, just a cool cover. Favorite artist of mine. So, and then last week, this is that one that I remembered getting. This Mystery in Madripoor number 1. This is a Lian Hyuk cover, not a ratio, but just a beautiful Psylocke cover. So, and like I said, these were all basically $5 a piece, which is cover price, I think, on most of them. So, can't go wrong with that. And if you gotta hate buy some stuff, hate buy some beautiful covers from some of your favorite artists. So, that's my motto anyway. One of them, I guess. Anyway, all right, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you later.